Hi, and welcome to In the Front Row, all things reactions, reviews, and interviews. My name is Jamie Lee, and today I'll be doing a review of the movie Falling for Christmas streaming on Netflix. So there was a few reasons why I wanted to watch this one. Firstly, it was Lindsay Lohan's return back to acting, so I wanted to see how well that went. Secondly, I am unashamedly a big fan of Glee, so I really wanted to see Cord Overstreet, or Trouty Mouth as I know him, in something that wasn't music related, because obviously, he followed his musical career path. So I really wanted to watch it for those reasons, and then also it's a Christmas movie and it's a rom-com, so those are my two favorite genres. I was definitely going to watch this one. It stars Lindsay Lohan as Sierra/Sarah. She is your typical entitled, spoiled, rich, daddy's little girl. Her dad owns one of the richest ski lodges. His name's Bo, and he's played by Jack Wagner. And she has a boyfriend, Tad, who is played by George Young. He is a social media influencer, like this really ditzy guy. One morning they were heading off to these gorgeous snowy mountains, but before they happened to do that, Sierra bumps into the typical good guy. So Jack Russell, who is played by obviously Cord Overstreet, he is your typical widowed father, the hardworking good guy. He owns a ski lodge as well, but it's more for members of the community who aren't, rich and entitled. He has a daughter named Avi, played by Olivia Perez, and he runs his ski lodge with the help of his mother-in-law, Alejandra. So spoiled brat Sierra bumps into hardworking good guy Jake, and then she heads up the mountain where Tad proposes to her with this gigantic ring. Anyway, she starts slipping down this mountain and he tries to grab her, but unfortunately can only grab this gigantic ring, which falls off. She tumbles down the mountain a million times, hits her head. Tad ends up tumbling down the mountain as well, but he's going the other way. So they're in two different locations, and then comes out Prince Charming. Jake comes along. He finds Sierra, passed out on the ground in the snow, freezing. So he gets her back to the hospital. Tad hits his head as well, but he's perfectly fine. He ends up finding this fisherman who takes him in, makes sure he's got food and warmth and shelter and things like that. Meanwhile, Sierra is in hospital suffering from amnesia. The doctors suggest that she goes back with Jake to the lodge and gets in the routine of doing normal activities to try and get her memories back. So 4 days go by, and Sierra, who we've now named Sarah because obviously she can't remember her own name because she suffered from amnesia, she and Jake end up falling in love and live happily ever after. Yes, you heard that right. 4 days went by and they've fallen in love in 4 days. But you need to remember, this is a cheesy romance movie, so all logic is thrown out the door. And I mean all logic in this one because it's kind of terrible. But I liked it. I'm going to put it out there. If you don't like cheesy, if you don't like predictable, if you don't like these corny romance cliches, then this is definitely not a movie for you. But it is a movie for me. I totally love romance. I totally love that cheesy, corny, totally predictable storyline. I really genuinely do like it. This movie I did like. I liked it because the scenery was just beautiful. You've got these gorgeous snowy mountains at Christmas time. You've got these cute little ski villages and these little huts and things. You've got the gondolas swinging by, and just the whole place looked really warm, really cozy, even though outside it was wintertime, of course. It just looked really beautiful. I really liked Lindsay Lohan's performance individually. Let's be really specific about that there. I really liked Cord Overstreet's performance individually. Let's be really specific about that there. Together, there was no chemistry at all. You literally did not feel like these guys were in love. You had to be told that these guys were in love. And speaking of telling, they literally use the cringiest things like, oh, I'm falling for you, and oh my God, stuff like this. And it's falling for Christmas, falling, we get it, falling, but they tell us, okay, yeah, got it. But then they show us. People are literally falling all the time in this movie. It's so frustrating. Anyway, that's a little petty thing there. No chemistry between them whatsoever. But individually, I thought the acting was really, really good. There was a scene there where Jake was receiving donations from the community and he was getting all teared up. And I felt that, those scenes, they were really, I wouldn't say emotional. I wasn't crying or anything like that, but you could feel them. There was really, some genuine moments there with that. But together, nothing was going on. You literally had to be told that something was going on to believe that something was going on, but nothing was going on. Anyway, same feelings with Tad, the influencer fiance. There was nothing there. And I get that there was nothing there because he's supposed to be this ditzy, influencer, and that's exactly what he was, times that by 1,000. It was so cringy. Like every single moment, we get that he's an influencer, we get that he's ditzy, but every single chance that they had to tell us how ditzy he was, they did. It was like every time he was in a scene, he had his phone and he's like doing something on his phone, like, oh, I'm trending, or let's take another selfie so I'm trending. And I'm like, I literally don't think that all influencers are sitting there on their phone going, oh, I can't wait to be trending again. Oh, I hope I'm trending again. Like, it was just way, way, way over the top. Anyway, we got it. There was no chemistry between those guys either. I know I just said that this is a romance movie. You need to throw logic out the door and turn your brain off. I did that. Don't know if I turned it off enough, because the logic was ridiculous. Like, this girl suffers from amnesia, and the people at the hospital who are trained, qualified in this sort of experience, they see this entitled girl who is suffering from a medical condition, a very serious one, might I add, a brain injury. And they're like, no, you're too spoiled and too annoying for this hospital. You need to go live with Jake, a total stranger who is this like great guy and owns this community lodge, blah, blah, blah. You need to go live with him and be his problem, not ours. I'm so confused right now. Why is she Jake's responsibility? Why is it not your responsibility and your duty of care as doctors, nurses, professionals to look after somebody who is ill? Anyway, next up, at Jake's lodge, she does these normal things like cooking and cleaning and things like that she can't do because she doesn't experience that in her own life. They're supposed to trigger her memories and things like that. They don't, because obviously she's never done them before. But when she does these things and she fails miserably, everybody just assumes like, have you ever made a bed, dear? Huh? Why would the first thought be, have you ever done this before, and not, oh, you just suffered from a brain injury, you probably can't remember how to cook? Like, why would they just assume that she can't do it when she's literally just had an accident where she doesn't remember how to do things, doesn't even remember her name? How's she gonna remember how to put the washing on? Like, come on. Anyway, so I thought that was a little bit far-fetched going with that there. Next up, we have the fights. This is a rom-com. You're going to get your stereotypical breakup, get back together moments. But this one sucked. Like, it wasn't even a good breakup. He's like, I'm falling for you. Literally think he used those words. And I can't do that because, you know, I haven't moved on from my wife. I'm still learning how to move on, things like this. Fair enough. And that is a really serious issue to address. And then she goes back inside, tells the daughter and tells the mother-in-law that she's leaving. And then Jake walks in and he's like, let's put up this Christmas angel together like I was supposed to do with my wife. And it's just like, you literally told her you weren't ready to move on from your wife like 3 minutes ago. Like, just now you told her that. So I get there needed to be a breakup and a get back together moment, but that one just seemed so quick, so forced. And even the get back together moment, there was nothing there. It was like, okay, I'll stay. Huh? What? I'm so confused. It's not believable. I don't feel anything from it. Like, I didn't feel sadness. I didn't feel happiness. I didn't feel anything. And in rom-coms, like, you're at least supposed to feel like, oh, that's a bit sweet. Yeah, wasn't feeling anything. Anyway, so the logic was really all over this shop. And then we have these random moments. We have a Santa thrown in there. I mean, it's a Christmas movie. Of course, we have to have a Santa thrown in there. But it's just random. Like, it's this really old guy who looks like a really cute Santa, let's be honest. But he just does these like little nose twitch things, and then suddenly like the Christmas wish gets blown into the wind and happens to come true later in the story. And it's like, okay, random. And then a little bit later, the same Santa comes over and is introduced to the people, and there's this sleigh, and Jake's like, oh, we can't afford that. And you think, oh, Santa's gonna let him have it because, you know, he's got that Christmas spirit and he's Christmassy cute and stuff. No, he doesn't let him have it. He's like, here, you can buy this snow globe. And she's like, I love it. Anyway, they end up buying the snow globe, and then randomly later, Santa again twitches his goddamn nose, which is, oh, anyway. And then at Jake's ski lodge, there happens to be this magical sleigh that turns up, the same one that Jake couldn't afford, but thanks to Santa's nose twitching, it's suddenly at Jake's house, so that he can ride off into the sunset and, you know, into the snow to go tell Sarah that he loves her. I mean, it's just so random. And the one thing that I was really disappointed with the whole movie, and they kind of set up for it, which is why I felt the disappointment a little bit more. There was a scene there where Sarah was singing, and she's like, oh, I can't sing because, you know, Tad was like, oh, you're off pitch, darling, or something dumb. And then a bit later, we get this scene where, you know, the community is around the Christmas tree and they're caroling and everybody's singing. And Sierra's like, I can't sing. And Jake's like, sure you can. And we get this really built up moment, like they're really building it up as if she's going to sing, as if Lindsay Lohan is going to sing. And she doesn't sing. And the camera just like fades away to, I don't know, the Christmas tree or the mountains or something. And it's like, ah, you built it up, and then you just let it down. So, I mean, she does sing in the song. She does make a song, you know, like Jingle Bell Rock or something for specifically this movie. But I was like, the moment I'm waiting, and it just, anyway, big disappointment, this movie. Totally big disappointment. I liked it. Not gonna lie. I did like it, but it was totally disappointing. Will I watch it again? No. Will I recommend it to you? Definitely not. I sat through it, I guess, so that you didn't have to.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Anyway, if you did watch this movie, can you let me know in the comments what you thought about it? And if you liked this video, please give it a like. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel and then head on over to my Instagram and give me a follow over there as well, please. Okay, sweet as. Have a good day. Bye.